it's Phoenix hot. Hey, it's Atlanta hot. And guess who's in town today? The Atlanta Braves at Coors Field, opening up a 4-game series. Revenge on the mind of the Colorado Rockies. They were in Atlanta about a week and a half ago, and the Braves swept the Rockies in a 4-game set. Temperature about 99 degrees. You holding up, partner?
Barely.
It is a warm one. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Today we begin talking about where the Rockies are overall, and we show you a graphic that a lot of managers and general managers will look at to kind of gauge what kind of team they have when they've played a lot of ball games. The Rockies' run differential, the number of runs they've scored, the number of runs they've given up one more than they've scored. The good teams, obviously, at this point in time, 88 above in terms of Philadelphia. The Yankees and Red Sox well over 100 above. So we always talk about one-run losses. Sometimes that's misleading.
Well, it is, because you talk about the one-run losses, but it's also about the games that you might win by 5 or 6 runs. Throw that on top of that, and that's what the good ball clubs do. They find a way, once they have a club down, to keep the pedal to the metal and add on to those runs. And the Rockies haven't been able to do that. 14 and 17 in those one-run games you're talking about. You look at San Francisco, they're 27 and 12 in those one-run games, and it's just getting that extra hit, or with the bases loaded, that bases clearing base hit to expand that lead. And the big clubs and the clubs that are fighting for division titles and wild card places, they get those hits.
Yeah, and to your point earlier, there are more situations where the good clubs win handily. Yeah, they may be a 50-50 split. Obviously, the Giants are not. They're very good. There may be a 50-50 split for those good clubs in one-run games, but they beat you up more than they get beat up.
Right, and that comes back to your offense. Knowing when you have the opposing team down and you have momentum in your dugout, that you're going to keep it and keep it going throughout the whole game.
All right. Well, when we come back, we'll talk about the Rockies' tandem at first base. The first crowd, those senior citizens, Helton and Giambi. They've been awfully good. There's the walk coming in for Jason Hamill and Chris Iannetta. They'll be the battery tonight as the Rockies look to get off to a good start with the Atlanta Braves in town. It'll be Derek Lowe, the veteran, going for Atlanta. Well, Jason Giambi got a start yesterday. All he did was double and hit one into the upper deck, just the 32nd ball ever hit into the third deck at Coors Field. When he starts, he's been phenomenal. The problem is the guy in front of him is awfully good also.
Well, pretty good dynamic duo for their age. I hate to say that they're old in their upper 30s and 40s, but they are. But what they've been able to do this year is pretty impressive. Todd Helton coming off the year he had last year, hitting almost 60 points higher so far. 2 more home runs already on the year, 9 more RBIs. And then Jason Giambi, he just keeps going out there and throwing out hits, showing you how it's done when he starts. It hasn't been as good when he's a pinch hitter, but when he starts, you can almost put it in the book that he's going to hit a home run. Already 10 home runs this year. It's phenomenal in only 90 at-bats.
Yeah, that's crazy. 1 out of every 9 at-bats. I did that math very quickly.
That was fast.
By the way. You know, you look at those two guys, and it's 20 jacks and 67 RBIs combined. You'd be hard-pressed to find another first baseman putting up those kind of numbers. Rockies and Braves, come on back to Coors Field with us. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. By Quest. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. By Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards on limited reward seats and no blackout dates. It is scorcher in Denver today. Jason Hamill in the purple jersey leading the Rockies onto the hill. He gets ready to face the Atlanta Braves, who traditionally have had success in Denver, more so at the old Mile High Stadium than at Coors Field, but they're close to 5 here, 31 and 33 overall. That's Jordan Schaefer. He'll lead things off for Freddie Gonzalez's team. And here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for Gonzalez in his first year. Former skipper of the Florida Marlins. Martin Prado was not healthy when the Rockies were in Atlanta. He was off the disabled list. He had a staph infection. He is a top-notch all-around player. Brian McCann, the all-star, he's hitting .308. Then Freddie Freeman, he did a lot of damage when the Rockies saw him. Dan Uggla's come on. Eric Hinsky, Alex Gonzalez, Nate McLeod, and Derek Lowe. And we should note that Jason Hamill will not have to face Jason Hayward. He was a late scratch.
Yeah, he was hit by a pitch in last night's ball game, so Nate McLouth is now going to start in right field. Jason Hamill coming off a fine performance against the Washington Nationals in his last outing, 6 in the third, just 5 hits, a couple earned runs. It was his first win since June 17th. Going back with the high stirrups, a lot like Ubaldo Jimenez. He pulled those out last start, so they were good enough for a win. I'm going to do it again. Is looking for consecutive wins and starts. The last time he did that was April 23rd and April 30th.
Yeah, he was very good in April, and then battled some run support issues and had a couple of mixed looking outings in terms of performance, but he was very good against Washington. And this is what happened yesterday to Jason Hayward. Henry Rodriguez is throwing, and that's not a guy you want to get hit by.
100 mile an hour? No, that doesn't feel good no matter where you get hit. Jason tried to stick it out during batting practice. It just never loosened up for him. So about 5:50 tonight, they scratched him and went with a different lineup. You know,
there's plenty of time left in the season, but so far this has been a forgettable sophomore year for Jason Hayward. Jordan Schaefer takes strike one. So 1 strike count on Schaefer. Braves won yesterday 9-8 over Washington. Home runs from Nate McLouth and Brian McCann. McCann hit a first inning 3-run home run yesterday. Took a walk-off hit by Freddie Freeman for Atlanta to go shake hands.
Well, and it came because Prado had stolen a base, and then they intentionally walked Brian McCann with 2 outs to set up the force, and then Freeman comes through with the base hit.
And that's a nice start for Jason Hamill. He just got right after Schaefer, blew him away. Going out as we take a look at the gloves behind Jason Hamill this evening. Cargo is in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Seth Smith's in right. Wigginton starting for Stewart, third base. He came into the ball game in a double switch and had a couple of hits yesterday. Tulowitzki and Mark Ellis up the middle. Helton had yesterday off, save an at bat late in the ball game in which he walked, and then Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. I love this guy. Martin Prado steps in, and you want to talk about a pro's pro. Offensively, defensively, can play second, third, first, play left field. Leader in the clubhouse. This is a winning player.
And that's why they missed him so much when he missed the 31 games that he had with a staph infection in his right calf and just returned from the DL.
Deep in the hole on the backhand. Good throw by Tulowitzki. So Martin is taken care of.
His first game back, he hits a home run, he gets a couple hits. But he is so valuable for the Braves, especially with Chipper Jones being on the DL with the torn meniscus. He had surgery. Looks like he might be back this coming weekend, though.
Amazing, because as we segue from Prado to Chipper with Brian McCann at the plate, Chipper was thought to be out with the meniscus tear and the arthroscope around, or arthroscope.
Arthroscopic surgery.
Arthroscopic surgery, arthroscope. Thank you. He was thought to be out 4 to 5 weeks. Chipper announced the other day that he's jogging already and he's hitting already, and therefore he thinks he's going to be back when the Braves return from this road trip.
And that's just shocking, because I've had the meniscus tear in my knee, and I wasn't able to come back in a couple weeks.
You missed 2 seasons, as I recall.
Well, just about. It seemed like it was that long.
Here's the 2-1.
But just for him to be able to come back, because originally he was trying to get the cortisone shots, and that didn't work last time we were in Atlanta. He tried to do that, and it didn't work, and so he decided to have surgery on the Saturday before the All-Star game.
This ball's well hit to center field. Fowler going back, and Dex will run it down. So a long out off the bat of Brian McCann, but a 1-2-3 start for Jason Hamill. Rockies will have Carlos Gonzalez leading off against Derek Lowe. There's Cargo. 287 average after going 0 for 5 yesterday. And the rest of the lineup: Mark Ellis will bat second. Todd Helton will bat 33rd in the league at 324. Troy Tulowitzki next. Then Seth Smith, Ty Wigginton, Chris Iannetta, Dexter Fowler will bat 8th in front of Hamill. Derek Lowe, you can just write him down for 190+ innings every season, it seems like.
And you can also write him down for a lot of ground balls. He's the active pitcher. He's throwing 75.5% of ground balls when he's out there. Tim Hudson right behind him, Roy Halladay, Jamie Wright, Chris Carpenter, those type of guys. You're going to get a sinker, slider, changeup mix.
Cargo owns a home run against him. Of course, Derek Lowe faced the Rockies and won 5-3. He went 5 1/3, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4. His outing was more notable for what he did offensively. He had a 3-run double in that ball game to hurt the Rockies more with his bat than he did with his arm.
Well, that had put the Braves up 4-0 at that point. Double right inside the third base bag.
That's inside 3-0 now on Cargo. Game against Yoeli Chassin. Chassin didn't want to look anymore. That cleared the bases.
And that was with 2 outs after he walked a couple guys.
A 4-pitch walk to Gonzalez leading off the ball game. It's unusual for Derek Lowe. Here's Atlanta defensively. They'll have Eric Hinsky in left field. Jordan Schaefer's in center. Nate McLouth is in right. Prado and Alex Gonzalez. Gonzalez got a good glove at shortstop. Dan Uggla at second base. Freddie Freeman, soft hands at first base. And Brian McCann is behind the plate. The injuries now to Joe Mauer. The best all-around catcher in baseball is Mr. McCann.
Well, he leads in a lot of offensive categories, that's for sure. Average, home runs, hits, RBIs. Started in the All-Star game.
Strike 1 on Mark Ellis. Cargo with 15 bags, not moving here, and that's a strike. 0-2.
Like a lot of sinker ball pitchers, you have to make sure that his sinker is up in the zone. If it starts at the knees and you go to swing at it, it's going to end up down by the ankles. And then the slider.
Up the middle is going to be 2 in all likelihood. And no safe there. I thought that was a poor decision by Dan Uggla. I don't know why he didn't run to the bag himself.
Bad decision, because watch when he flips this ball up to Alex Gonzalez, how he has to throw off his wrong foot and with his momentum going towards right field. You don't get any sort of momentum on that throw. If Uggla just takes it, that's an easy double play, but instead he allows Mark Ellis to beat it out by a fraction.
So ostensibly Ellis switches places with Gonzalez. 1 out. Here's Helton. And Todd drives his ball to center field. And it is caught by Schaefer. Todd hit that on the butt. Career 308 hitter coming into that at bat against Derek Lowe in 49 matchups. Here's the coaching staff for Freddie Gonzalez, one of the nicer gentlemen in the game. Carlos Tosca is on the bench with him. Roger McDowell's been the pitching coach for a while. Larry Parrish is the hitting coach. The former hitting coach Terry Pendleton. TP's now at first. Brian Snitker's at third. And Eddie Perez is the coach out in the bullpen.
Well, Larry Parrish coming over from the Tigers organization. Longtime friend and coach along with Tommy Runnels over there.
Baseball's a close-knit fraternity. Pretty small brotherhood, too. All you need to know about that is every night in the dining room you see 8, 10, 12 scouts visiting together. Somebody always has to ring a bell and let them know the game's about to start. Otherwise, they'll be telling stories past
they'll keep it going
deep into the night.
And they have some great stories about all the guys they've scouted, where they've just come from. up-and-coming players.
And there's even more stories floating around the last couple days because Jim Fergosi's in town, and he can tell he can spin a yarn.
Jim Jr.'s here as well.
Yep.
Jim Jr.'s with the Philadelphia Phillies. Jim Sr.'s with the Atlanta Braves.
And Jim was in the Braves clubhouse earlier. He's in the coach's locker room, and he had a captive audience. 2-0 on Tulowitzki. And Troy takes a slider for a strike. 2-1.
A rough day for Troy yesterday.
They went 0 for 4 yesterday.
3 strikeouts.
He and Cargo combined 0 for 9 in the Sunday ball game. 3 balls and a strike. Rockies split that series with Milwaukee. 2-2 after capturing the first 2. A little momentum going into Saturday, and then lost the 2-1 run affairs.
You had your chances
lead on Saturday.
Yeah, and you had your chances of late too in the 9th inning. Chance for a walk-off.
This is in the air to shallow left, and it is going to drop. And Ellis is going to get to third base. So a Texas leaguer for Tulowitzki. And there are 2 on for Seth Smith.
If you're strong enough and you can pull your hands in towards your body, you'll get enough of the barrel. It was still closer to the label, but enough of where he hit it over the head of Alex Gonzalez as he goes back, and on the side you'll get a great look on way he pulls that left hand and that left elbow and brings it down closer to his side to try to get his hands inside the baseball.
Smith 3 for 16 against Lowe, but 2 of the 3 hits have gone over the wall.
It's usually when they try to come inside with a slider that just spins up there, and it's not one that goes down towards the back foot.
One and one. Smith 2 for 4 yesterday with a ribby. It was his first RBI since July the 2nd.
And Derek Lowe in his last 12 starts just 2-4 with a 5 ERA. Early on in the years, ERA just above 3.
And Smith hits it softly to Dan Uggin. Rockies get a couple on, do not produce a run. We'll go to inning number 2, scoreless.
Go behind me, taking his spot in left field. Since the guys were kind of talking about some medical things, I asked head athletic trainer Keith Duggar about the cortisone shot. We throw that word around. Oh, Cargo got a cortisone shot. This guy did. What that is an anti-inflammatory. It's a steroid, man-made, not anabolic, and that kind of bathes the joint. But what Doogie told me really helped Carlos Gonzalez was at night they took his wrist and they made sure that it was in a neutral position, because our tendency as humans, he told me this, is to go into the fetal position and move your wrist in when you're sleeping, and just by doing that it really helped things calm down for Carlos Gonzalez. Drew, Jeff?
Hey, Mark.
Yes?
How's that tie feel in the jacket right now?
Can I tell you how many people have asked me why I'm dressed up today? What's the deal with the suit?
Well, I'd like to be the next person in line. Why are you dressed up today?
You know, I heard we lobbied for the golf shirts, but it didn't go over so well with some people in air-conditioned rooms this afternoon.
Hey, diplomatically put, Mark. I
Yes,
like that.
that's what I've heard.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Freddie Freeman at first, a leadoff single. Dan Uggla at the plate. And I know Dan has an ugly average of 189. But he's actually hit in his last 9 games, and he's swinging the bat like the Dan Uggla we remember from Florida.
Yeah, 344 clip, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, that kind of Dan Uggla. He had a couple home runs against the Rockies, and that's really when he started to come out of that slump.
Yeah, that's exactly when he started to emerge from the slump, and talking to some of the Braves personnel. And that's a smash to third. Wigginton got a little bit of leather on it. It's going to be a base hit in first and second. You know, he reminds me of Barney Rubble. I never saw Barney Rubble play baseball, but if Barney Rubble played baseball, Dan Uggla's Barney Rubble and Wigginton's his first cousin.
Well, he must have used Bam Bam's bat, because that ball was smoked right down to Ty Wigginton. That's when you know you're playing the hot corner, when the guy hits it like that. You're just trying to knock it down in self-defense.
That was unscripted. I didn't even hand you the line about Bam Bam. Very nice.
Thank you. Been thinking about that one. When can I pull it out? It worked out tonight.
Yeah. First and second, Eric Hinsky at the plate. Fastball away. Hinsky in part-time duty has 8 home runs. Former American League Rookie of the Year. And Hinsky, who's a lot thicker now than he was when he came up. I know you're at home saying, aren't we all? But he actually doesn't run badly for a big man, if you're thinking about a ground ball double play.
Well, he used to be a third baseman when he first was drafted by the Cubs back in 1998 in the 17th round. He was traded over to Oakland. He's a valuable guy that's been on numerous winning ball clubs because he can hit.
And Hamill nibbling, and he's fallen behind 3-0. Braves a great front runner. You don't want to give them a lead. 39-10 when they score first.
Jim Tracy was talking about the Braves today during his daily press conference, and the question was posed to him, is this the best all-around club that you've played against this year? And he said yes, because of their pitching, their starting pitching, and then their bullpen. They have 3 guys from the left side, and of course line Brent Kimbrell from the right side. If you're behind in the 5th or 6th, it's pretty much game over.
And that is ball 4, and now the bases are loaded, nobody out for Alex Gonzalez. Now, Tracy said without equivocation, it's the top pitching staff, first inning through 9th inning. He said obviously their lineup is they hit the ball over the wall if you get behind in the count against them. I think he was diplomatically saying it's not the best lineup the Rockies have faced.
No.
But listen, they have the 2nd best record in the National League to the team they're chasing, the Philadelphia Phillies. And the reason is pitching. They have a ton of it. Big jam here for Hamill. And Gonzalez slices this foul out of play. It's 0-1.
Well, the good ones limit damage. And that's what Jason Hamill's going to try to do. It's something he has improved upon over the last couple of years. Staying away from that crooked number. Line drive. Can they get two? Double play. That'll help. Mark Ellis got it to Helton. Todd didn't get back to the bag because obviously he was in a defensive position, but he was able to apply the tag, and that worked just as well. Eric Hensky jogs off the field. 2 outs. Second and third. First base is open with Nate McLouth up there and Derek Lowe on deck.
102 double plays now for the Rockies, which is #1 in the National League, second in all of baseball. Todd not worrying about getting back to the base because he knew Hensky was there. Just swipe tag him on the backside. You have 2 outs, and with the #8 place hitter Nate McLouth, you go ahead and intentionally walk him to set up the force and bring the pitcher up.
You know, and I don't know if Jim Tracy would have done this a couple weeks ago, a month ago certainly, but where the Rockies are right now, and with the good fortune of that line drive double play, the Adam ball, he said, you know what, we're going to make the pitcher do it here and try to put another 0 up on the board, because a minute ago he'd have taken a 1-run deficit after that situation of bases loaded, nobody out. But now he senses an opportunity even early in the ball game to get out of this thing without any damage. So go ahead with first base open, pass on McLouth. Now of course we're all going to remember that Derek Lowe had a bases loaded double against Chacin the last time he faced the Rockies.
But don't press your luck, because you got the double play. Let's set up the force so if a ball is wide of one of the fielders, they can go to a different base besides first.
The other thing is, don't lose your concentration.
Right, that's what hurt the Rockies the other day, walking the pitcher, did Yolis, and then he gave up the home run to Corey Hart.
And a weak ground ball to third. Wigginton across the diamond, couldn't see it. He got caught up in the sun. 2 runs are going to score. What else can go wrong?
That's why Jim put his head down just a moment ago.
And Wigginton, you know, it's an easy play. Throw the ball across the diamond. And players who play here know this time of day is very tough on first baseman. You know, he could have just waited and tagged. He could have gone the short way, or keep the ball low. And Todd battled and battled. He flat could not see the baseball.
Yeah, and you have to just keep it low. The base runner behind Ty was not in a position, I don't think, where he could really tag him. His other option, as you mentioned, would be to go to second base or go to short way or try to beat him over to third base and get the force there.
That's a tough error on Helton. You got to assign it to somebody, and they've assigned it to Helton. You know, that's a weird one. You know, given the circumstances, you could say, well, Wigginton's got to know better and keep the ball down, but he did make what ordinarily is a perfect throw.
That's a great shot of the glare and what Todd was trying to look through, trying to pick up the baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike on Schaefer. Hamill struck him out in the first inning. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Well, and the other thing it does is it makes Jason throw some extra pitches where he's closing in right now. That's next pitch is going to be his 31st pitch.
In the air to left field. Cargo's drifting way back. That ball hit better than it looked. All the way to the warning track. 2 runs for the Braves. Ahead brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook and Twitter for details on how to win free tolls. Braves are here for 4 ball games. No, Thursday's an afternoon affair. 12:30 the pregame show right here on Root Sports. And then the Rockies embark on a 10-day, 9-game trip. Arizona, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Rockies behind 2-0. They were out of the inning. Wigginton throw to Helton got caught up in the sun. And Huey, you played 10+ years in the big leagues. I'm sure there were times where you had to have discussions on the field, or if it's your home park, knowing at certain times there were glares.
Sure.
You know, glare, and you had to adjust, didn't you?
Yeah, you either had to throw the ball on a one-hop over to first base, or you probably should have gone to second base. It's a shorter throw. There's no sun damage there. You don't have to worry about that. Even with the runner and Nate McLeod being quicker than Derek Lowe. We saw in between innings just a moment ago that Martin Prado was practicing one-hopping it over to Freddie Freeman at first base.
Ty Wigginton takes ball 1. Wigginton stepped into the ball game in a double switch yesterday, and he had a single, a fly ball to center, and an RBI double in the 9th. That with nobody out, and the Rockies unable to move him along to third base. That happened yesterday in the 8th and 9th inning. The Rockies had a leadoff man at second base and were unable to move him along. 2-0 on Wigginton. He was sitting fastball, got a slider, thus the excuse me swing.
It's just a veteran experience of Derek Lowe, not giving a fastball hitter a fastball pitch in that count. Go with the slider, and a guy with Wiggy that's in his last 3 ball games is hitting .417.
2-2. Deep in the hole, Gonzalez. Nice play. 1 out. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, make sure you go to Taco Bell the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies Tacos special. Rockies yesterday lost 4-3. It was the first ball game at home in the month of July that they didn't score at least 7. So the odds are pretty good for those folks. Can't wait to get to Taco Bell tomorrow and get your Rockies Tacos special. Here's Chris Iannetta batting 7th tonight, 0-1. Off the plate. Joe West is behind home plate calling balls and strikes tonight. Sam Holbrook at first, Angel Campos is second, and Chad Fairchild is at third base.
Country Joe West.
He's a singer.
CD out.
As we pointed out earlier in the year when we saw Joe for the first time, a trimmed down Joe West.
Well, Derek Lowe's not the hard sinker ball pitcher that he once was. He used to be at 92 to 94 with heavy sink and a harder slider. But a guy that has made a living working down in the zone.
Off the end of the bat, 2 outs. Derek Lowe in his last start, as we mentioned, it was more notable for what he did with the bat. I mean, the numbers were decent. 5 1/3, 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 punch-outs. But he had that 3-run double.
And that allowed him to go. He really got in trouble, though, in that 5th inning in that ball game. Gave up a couple walks, a couple base hits.
He knows how to pitch with a lead. This guy's been in more than 600 ball games in his career. Remember, he was a relief pitcher.
Yeah, he's 162 and 136 in his career with a 3.87 ERA. But also 85 saves.
1 ball, 1 strike.
42 saves in 2000 with Boston.
Tonight is 343rd major league start. That deck slices this into the crowd. Do you see a different swing path, even though he's more out of a crouch? Or to me, it looks like the same swing path. He's just lowered his 6'5.5" body a little bit.
They try to get to a more comfortable hitting position, but it still needs to clean up a little bit, though.
And that's one of the issues for Dexter Fowler. From the left side, he has struck out almost a third of the time. 2-0 Atlanta. Top of inning number 3. Donnie Mills, keep listening. You got enough to worry about. Keep your eyes straight forward. You've watched your camera shot before. Donnie's one of the best. Hey, last 12 ball games at Coors Field, the Rockies have won 9 against the Atlanta Braves. And look at all the one-run victories they've had over Atlanta.
Being able to get to that bullpen.
Martin Prado at the plate. He takes ball 1. He hit a ball to deep short his first time.
He's really a model of consistency. In 09, he hit 307 last year. 307.
I was talking to Jim Tracy about Prado during batting practice today, and he said, yeah, you can get him out, but however you got him out the first time, you better change the pattern the second time and change it again the third time. He is a very, very smart hitter.
A lot like Placido Polanco with more power.
Yeah, it's a great comparison. Two terrific, ideal two-hole hitters. High fly ball to right center field. Smith camped under it. Prado will jog off. That'll bring on Brian McCann. A career .368 hitter is McCann against the Colorado Rockies in 32 ball games. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Ball and a strike. Since May 28th, McCann's batted .344, 12 home runs, 28 RBIs.
Well, he's a six-time All-Star because he can take that ball that's away from him and get a base hit to left.
That'll bring up Freddie Freeman. Freeman had a lights-out series at Turner Field against the Rockies. He hit 4 home runs against Colorado, including his first 2 home run ball game of his career.
7 for 14 in that series. Already another base hit tonight. I still think you have to pitch this young man in underneath the hands. Don't let him get extended.
He's just 21. He just hit a towering drive to deep center field, and he's added another home run. Something about the Rockies and Freddie Freeman. Good mix for Freddie, bad mix for Colorado. Make it 4-0 Atlanta.
If we go back and look at this, you know, that ball was supposed to be in, but it wasn't, because he was able to extend and hit it out to center field. Chris is set up inside. Watch him reach back just a little bit, but that is center cut, about belt high. I saw enough of that in Atlanta where he hit the ball out to left center field. When he gets extended, he's just a strong young 21-year-old.
He's played 4 1/3 games against the Rockies, and he's hit 5 home runs.
9 RBIs, 9 for 16 now.
Ball in Atlanta.
Yeah, ball away from him. What does he do? He extends. That was a breaking pitch. That's why he pulled that one, and then another one out to center field.
Funny, the crowd's oohing and on because Hamill missed up and in twice with a slider. Generally, you get that reaction from a crowd when it's one of their guys that gets a little chin music. 2-0 on Ugla, who hit a rocket to third for a base hit. Now, with that unfortunate situation an inning ago where a ball was lost in the sun that would have put an inning down. Wigginton's throw to Helton at first. Todd couldn't see the baseball. Right now it'd be 2-0, and instead it's 4-0. 2-2.
But the good news is you still have a chance, because Derek Lowe is probably the Braves' number 5 starter, because you missed Jair Jurgens, who threw yesterday's ball game. You still have a chance to go out there and put some runs up against him.
2 outs. And that'll bring up Eric Hinsky. If your windshield has issues, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000. You can find them online at safelite.com.
Coming to the house tomorrow to fix a windshield of mine.
What'd you do?
Well, just a rock chip from the winter. Finally decided maybe the hail's going to be gone. I need to replace a couple windshields. Uh-oh.
Make it 5-0. Eric Hinsky's locked one into the second deck in right. 9th home run for Hinsky. Check it, 10th. Yeah, no, 9th home run for Hinsky.
A breaking pitch again that did not hit its location. Hinsky with the opening up of the hips a little bit. Get that barrel to that inside pitch and hit it out. Not quite as far as the ball Jason Giambi hit yesterday, but that was in the second deck for Eric Hinsky.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but when the Braves score 5 runs or more in a game this year, they're 33-2.
Well, remember that graphic we put up in our open, and the way they have scored more than their opponents, but sometimes it is by throwing up a lot of runs, not just the 1-run games.
Again, every team's going to play their share of 1-run games, and they're going to win some, they're going to lose some, but the good teams are going to win in blowout fashion more often than they get blown out. Thus their run differential is going to be far more on the positive side, because that's where I think sometimes talent really shines through. Iannetta, nice grab. In the inning, a single by McCann, a 2-run home run by Freddie Freeman, and then a 2-out bomb from Eric Hinsky. Rockies with plenty of work to do. Derek Lowe, a first pitch strike to Jason Hamill. Rockies, by virtue of their losses Saturday and Sunday to Milwaukee, have fallen back to 500 at home. 24 and 24. Pretty good swing there by Hamill.
Almost took off the head of Derek Lowe.
I'll bring up Cargo with one on. Text Toyota followed by a space, and in your comments and questions to 720-720. We do it every night. We're glad that you're able to join us on Toyota Talk. Here's your topic for the 6th inning tonight. Best pitching rotation, if you had to choose one, in baseball.
So is it Atlanta, Philadelphia, San Francisco?
Those would be the prime candidates. All right, you want to do this? You want to make it 1 through 12?
Well, let's do it. Let's do it that way. 1 through 12.
So you include the bullpens?
Yes. Because I think that might change the way some people think.
Philadelphia's bullpens dealt with the myriad of injuries.
But what I think it shows depth.
Sure.
And that's how you get through a 162 game season.
1-1 to Cargo. 2-1. Talking to him in the pregame show about timing, and Jeff, you know this from being a position player in baseball. It only takes a few days or even less than that to get your timing off him. He was one of the hottest hitters in baseball for 6-7 weeks.
Right, and then he sits out the 5 or 6 game, comes back and plays a game. The wrist is not good. It's not easy to do. And you can tell by his swings, he's getting jammed a lot, and he does get jammed. Probably more than a lot of players, but he's usually strong enough to hit it over the head of the infielder. But that leg kick, all the hands, everything going back at the same time is just not there.
He's won for his last 16 at the plate. That'll turn around. Mark Ellis. Hey, you got to chip away. That old story, when you fall behind by a significant number early in the game, you're not going to typically get it all back at once, but throw up 1 or 2 at a time. Next thing you know, you're back in it.
To me, I always felt like it was important to do it, especially after they just scored last inning. If you can get 1 or 2 back this inning, if not, you have to get it back in the 4th inning.
Here goes Gonzalez to throw to second. He's not going to get him. Cargo has his 16th stolen base.
And thrown out just 21% of the runners that have tried to take off against him. No chance with Cargo's jump at first base. And he took off right away. Mark Ellis, professional hitter that he is, takes the pitch to allow Cargo to steal the base. Cargo just feels more comfortable sliding head first. Even with the wrist. You would think he might go feet first to try to protect it, but as a base stealer, you have in your mind once you take off that I'm going to have to slide, and I'm going to slide head first if the way I feel comfortable.
You become a creature of habit, Jeff. You know that. And the perfect example of that, this ball is on the ground, a product. The perfect example of that is Matt Holliday. Do you remember? Oh, it was probably 5-6 years ago. Matt, I think, broke a finger, a thumb, or jammed a wrist on a head-first slide. And he vowed, I'll never slide head-first again. Well, the most important run the Rockies ever scored, he barrels into home, and he goes head-first.
And probably the one place you don't want to go head-first is into home.
Right.
With the catcher there. But it's just instinct after a while. You just do it, it becomes habit, and it's hard to break.
Todd takes a strike. Line drive to fairly deep center field his first time up. Helton in 44 games at Coors Field against Atlanta pitching. This has always been a strength of the Braves. 14 straight division titles a while back. Helton's hit .380 against him. Todd, a 7-game hitting streak, .417 over the 7 games coming in. And up the middle, a base hit. Here comes Gonzalez with the Rockies' first run. You need to pick me up? Dial 17. He'll pick you up. 5-1 the score. Well, it's a big 2-out hit here in the 3rd inning when nothing was going the way of the Rockies.
Breaking pitch that was away from Todd. Didn't try to pull it too much, but got just enough of it to get by Derek Lowe. And where Dan Uggla was playing more to the pull side, easily a base hit. And a stolen base from Carlos Gonzalez comes into play. He scores from second base.
47 ribbies for Helton. Outside on Tulowitzki. Troy, a Luke single in the 1st inning. Rockies at 1st and 3rd in the 1st. And Seth Smith hit a slow roller to Dan Uggla.
Todd already has 10 more RBIs than he had all of last year and 120 less at bats.
Rockies get a run, couple of hits in the inning. Hamill actually got it started with a bullet up the middle. 5-1 as we go to the 4th. loss after a stolen base. 5-1 the score. Let's go down and see Mark Stout. He's got tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where they always get 40% more for your gold. Mark, pull that tie up, man.
Yeah, it's still here. Jason Hamill had a hit, obviously, in the last inning. Things are going well for Hamill and his wife, Alyssa. She is pregnant. I asked how it's going. He's like, yep, still happening. That's in the early stages of September. She's going to travel to San Diego next week when the team goes on the road. And then after that, there's no more traveling. It's her favorite place to go to watch her husband pitch. And he said that this year they kind of did a little bit more traveling during the season than usual because they know they've got a new baby on the way in September. So an exciting time of the year for Jason and Alyssa Hamill, guys.
All right, Mark, congratulations to the Hamill family. Soon to be expanding Hamill family. 2-0 on Nate McLeod. Then he pops this up right behind home plate. Why'd they go and put the net there?
They had to.
We moved that screen 5 feet. It's 1 out.
Like old Dodger Stadium, how far back that one used to be.
You needed a golf cart to get there. There's a 2-1 on McLeod, down and in, 3-1. Last inning, Hamill gave up a 2-run home run to Freddie Freeman and a solo home run to Eric Hinsky. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. No screen involved here. Tulowitzki's involved. 1 out. It'll bring up Derek Lowe. It'll take us to our Geico quote. Well, we have to give Ukes quotes a break since Milwaukee's left town, and we'll move on to hammering Henry Aaron. I never smile when I have a bat in my hands. That's when you've got to be serious. When I get out on the field, nothing's a joke to me. I don't feel like I should walk around with a smile on my face. Well, he put a lot of smiles on faces of Braves fans in Milwaukee and Atlanta.
It's one of those guys that helped the Braves win over 10,000 ball games as a organization. Only the 3rd team ever to do that behind the Giants and the Cubs.
And they won their 10,000th Friday night.
Friday night.
Lowe lifts this down the line. Foul. Take a look at our Colorado Lottery replay first of the night. Remember to replay any non-winning scratch ticket before the end of the month at coloradolottery.com. And Derek Lowe at the bases loaded his last time up with 2 outs. Grounds to Ty Wigginton. Good throw. The only problem was the sun was right in Helton's eyes. He couldn't catch it. 2 runs came around. Did you ever feel, or how often did you feel, probably is a more appropriate way of asking the question, when you were on a big league diamond, some bad stuff happened and maybe things weren't going well for a club like the Rockies situation, did you ever feel like you noticed the body language changing, almost as if the players were saying, here we go again?
Yeah, I think it's only human nature to see that. To see that happen, not only with the club, but as an opposing player, to see it to the other club that it happens to, and you know that they're struggling, and something happens, and you know, and your team's the winning team, you know, okay, we've got them, and you can just see the shoulders kind of slump a little bit, and you don't see that same energy or urgency.
Well, the Rockies need to make something good happen in this ball game. They got to start last inning with the base hit by Todd Helton, kind of turn around that mojo.
And that's all it takes is one play to go one way or the other. But you get one thing to happen, and then that kind of snowballs on top, and the good things start to turn around and start to happen for your club. And that's when you go on those winning streaks. You win 12, 14 in a row.
1-1 on Schaefer. That's down low. 2-1. Seven-game trip for the Braves. They're going to Cincinnati after this.
And after this trip, they'll only play 2 more series out of their time zone. They'll go to Chicago and St. Louis. So they're only going losing 1 hour, or gaining 1 hour, excuse me, going to those cities. The rest of the time they're playing in the same time zone.
I still think it's going to be quite a battle, the Braves and the Phillies. In that NL East, Freddie Gonzalez certainly hopes so. And at the start of the day, the Braves trailed the Phils by 3.5.
We played them 3 more times this year.
And Philadelphia in the 6th, trailing the Cubs 3-1 at Wrigley.
That's still early.
Basically, you're saying the Cubs can still mess it up,
oh,
aren't
yeah.
you?
Carlos Marmol is no longer the closer.
Here's the 3-2 to Jordan Schaefer. And he misses ball 4. So Schaefer to first. Martin Prado coming up. Stick around after our Toyota postgame show tonight for a special 1-hour episode of the Dan Patrick Show. And of course, that show airs weekday mornings at 7. As always, Dan and his Danettes will recap the week's top stories. They'll have celebrity stories as well. Check out all the highlights. It's coming up after the game. Dan Patrick Show.
You have to watch Jordan Schaefer over at first base. 13 stolen bases. The Braves only have 33 as a club.
He's only been caught 4 times. And Mark Ellis, veteran second baseman. Even though he's been his entire career in the American League, he's well aware that Prado does a great job of shooting the baseball to the right side.
So as a middle infielder, you might cheat just a little bit closer to the bag, but be able to hold your ground longer so you don't have to run as hard over to second base, and hopefully you would get that read off the bat of Prado. Great look here with Jason Hamill and then also the runner Jordan Schaefer.
That's an ideal running situation. The Braves are +4 on the scoreboard. There's 2 outs. If Schaefer gets thrown out, next inning, so what? You start with Prado and you have McCann behind him. And it's a chance, perhaps, if he does get a bag, you steal a 2-out run, so to speak.
And Jordan's going to be looking at the right heel of the pitcher. If he sees it come up.
Ground ball, base hit, left side. I'll tell you what else that does. Did you find as a hitter, and you were a base stealer, but if you had a base stealer on in front of you, and that pitcher has to spend so much time focusing, sometimes the focus isn't on the plate and you get a pitch that's elevated, as opposed to when Hamill's doing well, like most pitchers, he's working down in the zone, and that's what Prado got right there.
Well, because the pitcher's trying to rush his delivery so he's quicker to the plate so the guy doesn't steal the base. What happens when you rush? You leave your arm behind. When you leave your arm behind, the ball stays up in the zone. Not good numbers for Jason Hamill. Already 66 pitches here in the 4th inning. Of course, that 2nd and 3rd inning with the air by, I say Todd, but it was the high throw right into the sun, but then the home runs by Freddie Freeman and Eric Hinsky helped push that pitch count up.
And now the Braves' best hitters at the plate. This inning looked like it was going to go quickly for Jason Hamill after the Rockies scratched out a run last inning. You got a bear down here against McCann, who hit a deep fly to center field and a bullet single to left. He has seen the ball well in this game. He typically does.
And with Brian McCann, you play the outfielder straight up because he can shoot the ball to the left center field gap as well as pull it to right field. On the ground, you're more of a pull guy.
You know, it's one of those deals right now for Hamill. You want to be careful with McCann. You got to make a pitch. You get too fine and you lose him. You have Freddie Freeman on deck.
Yeah, how many other 21-year-olds are hitting 4th in the major leagues? I don't think there are any.
Sometimes we overstate the idea of youth. Sometimes young guys are pretty good. Young guys can help you win ball games at the highest level.
Well, they had some patience with Freddie Freeman. He was struggling early on. They just kept running him out there, and he finally found it.
Rockies did that 2 years ago with Carlos Gonzalez. 2-1.
Probably the best fastball we've seen from Jason tonight on a 2-0 count. Cut the fastball 94 into the hands of Brian McCann.
And he's going to get him on a bouncer to Mark Ellis. Ellis waits for Helton. In the inning, a walk and a single by Prado. 2 left on. 5-1 Atlanta, middle of 4 at Coors Field. Back in a moment. Hit the Rockies 6-3. Bottom of 4. It'll be Seth Smith, Ty Wigginton, and Chris Iannetta. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Only 5 active pitchers have more wins than Derek Lowe. Isn't that wild?
It is.
Can you name them? That's why baseball historians suggest it'll be very, very difficult to eclipse the 300 win mark that was, occasionally passed in the last 25 years. And I think one of the big reasons is that, managers go to bullpens rather quickly now, and so sometimes you don't have the opportunity to win a ball game that's real tight because you're gone after 6 innings. What's going on? Freddie Gonzalez is out there talking to
I think
Joe
it has
West.
something to do with Joe West.
Yeah, Joe West's mask has got issues.
Well, the pad that goes up onto the top of the head, something happened there. So they ran another one in from the bullpen and from the backup catcher, David Ross's equipment out there. Oh, excuse me, that is actually Brian McCann's mask. And now he's gone to the
that's
hockey style.
Yeah, see, that's weird that he would do that because usually guys are either or. Well, I should say either or. They're either, they like one, they don't like the other. So for him to go to another mask, you'd think he'd go to a
you would think that he would have
style mask. You'd have another one, right?
Yeah, this is the big leagues. You're Brian McCann. You're a 6-time All-Star. Don't you think you'd have 2 sets? I could see if you were down playing at Schaefer Park here and
go, hey Joey,
can I borrow your mask?
Can I borrow your mask? Here's Smith, and he takes a strike. Maybe it's Carlos Gonzalez's fault. This is last inning.
I bet you that was. It might have loosened that up.
And Smith is jammed. Hinske makes the running catch. Let's take a look at our minor league report. It's brought to you by Suzuki Autos all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Rockies Colorado Springs AAA affiliate Alfredo Amezaga hit a home run yesterday, but again the Springs lost 6-4. Tulsa won. Willeen Rosario's hit a few home runs of late, 2 for 3 yesterday. How about Nolan Arenado? He's really come on. 2 for 5. He's hitting .304 now with 11 home runs, 73 RBIs for Modesto after a slow start. Helder Velasquez hit another home run. He had one the other day.
Remember when we were in Atlanta a couple weeks ago talking to Scotty Fletcher, the roving infield instructor for the Colorado Rockies, and he was just raving about Nolan and the way his footwork has come along at third base, his defense, and he says if you need a play made, that young man will make the play. Those are the guys that are beating the bushes down there, all those roving instructors, all the player development people. 2 new clubs, Casper, Tri-Cities starting up. They're doing a lot of traveling.
A lot of kids to see. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ty Wigginton. He grounded short his first time up. Two outs. Chris Iannetta will approach. Wells Fargo customers, listen up. You want 2-for-1 club level seats? Here's what you do. Go to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. 5-1 Atlanta. Here on the notes yesterday, it said the Rockies had lost every Sunday game at home. Actually, they had won a ball game. One of our viewers pointed this out. Tweeted us. Rockies won against the Cubs on a Sunday back in April, so they have 1 Sunday win at home this year. I still find that just incredible. And the Rockies are 2-13 on Sundays in 2011.
That's just one of those stats that you really have no explanation for.
Rockies last year in day ball games had a terrific record.
And they had a very nice day record early on in this year too, coming out of the gate.
It's gone the other way though. It's the 1-2, 2-2. Last year the Rockies went 16-10 on Sundays, and they were 9-4 at home. This is off the end of the bat, and it's going to drop. So 2 outs. Iannetta is aboard for Dexter Fowler. Time for tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Derek Lowe is topped out at 89. Hamill at 94. Dexter struck out his first time. He's got 1 hit since he came back. That was in his first at bat. It was right-handed. He rolled one down the left field line.
Yeah, 1 for 10. That was a leadoff double. Ended up coming around and scoring on the wild pitch.
And a comebacker. Derek Lowe goes Eddie Feigner style to first base. Rockies are done in their half of the 4th. 5-1 Braves. Kruger's coming up. At least that's what the Rockies think of him. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Now through the end of the month, you can replay every non-winning scratch ticket and a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. Here's what Freddie Freeman did his last time up. Towering 2-run home run. Freeman has 14 home runs this year. 5 have come at the expense of the Colorado Rockies pitching staff. He also had a base hit in the second. He scored 2 runs in the ball game.
He'd probably be the leading vote getter for Rookie of the Year for the Rockies, from the Rockies' perspective.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct in that assumption. And what a play by Ellis. And he's going to throw him out. That's about the only way you get Freeman out these days. Gorgeous play by Mark Ellis.
Ranging far to his left and then dives at the last possible instant. 2 hops, spin, get up, gather your bearings, and throw out Freeman by a step. Hard landing by Ellis. Watch him land and then have to pop right back up.
Dan Uggla hits a pop fly to right. Two outs, and that'll bring up Hinske. Eric Hinske, a walk and a home run.
2 pitches, 2 outs. Hinske can't make the cardinal sin of 3 pitches, 3 outs. He'll take this one all the way.
A home run by Hinske is first in 5 weeks. And he's got another base hit. Dexter hustling to keep Hinske to a single. Won't happen. Two-out double for Hinske. And here's what he did his last time up. Colorado Lottery replay. 3rd inning. Hinske lifting one to the second deck. Yeah, let's put your head down, do your Will Clark impression, jog around the bases.
Tell Hinske grew up in a different era by just dropping the bat, put the head down, and run the bases.
Well, you get plunked less that way.
Yeah, just ask Boston Red Sox Big Papi, Kevin Gregg. Although he never hit him. Tried to.
That was a weird deal. And Gonzalez with a base hit. Here's Cargo with the baseball, and he didn't field it cleanly. Otherwise, Hinske's going to stop at 3rd. Wow. When he doesn't come up with a one-hopper like that, you're just amazed. 6-1 Atlanta.
Well, and as hard as that ball was hit from Gonzalez, when Cargo comes up with that, he's going to easily throw out Eric Hinske.
Scored as a single and an RBI, no error.
Well, that's because the third base coach, Brian Snitker, was waving Hinske the whole time.
Nate McLeod. Only one clean inning tonight for Jason Hamill. The first inning, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball to deep center field by Brian McCann. It was a good start.
McLeod has struggled since he came off the DL back on June 19th. Just a 203 average, couple RBIs. With the Jason Hamill, 80 pitches, struggling. Eric Stoltz, a lefty, up throwing for the Rockies.
Braves are winners of 17 of the last 23. Over the last 3.5 weeks, only one team playing better baseball, and that's the Boston Red Sox.
Boston's up on Baltimore tonight, 11-7.
Sixth inning, which is coming up, rapidly approaching. Toyota Talk. We ask you tonight, if you had to take one pitching staff in the National League, 1 through 12, that includes the bullpen, which staff would you like to have in your rotisserie league? Braves in the first half before the All-Star break, 54-38. It was the best they've done since 2002 when they had 56 wins in the first half. And this will pop up to right. Ellis going out, and Smith will call him off. In the inning, a 2-out double by Hinsky, and then Gonzalez singled him home. It's 6-1 Atlanta. Number 5, 9-1-2 for the Rockies. And the Rockies are going to go to their bench. More on that in a moment. AT&T trivia question. Only 5 active pitchers have more wins than Derek Lowe, who has produced 162. The very durable Derek Lowe, 38-year-old. Tim Wakefield with a 198. Roy Halladay, he's going to be rolling for a while. Tim Hudson, his teammate. Levon Hernandez and C.C. Sabathia.
Wakefield might pitch till he's 50.
Wakefield might pitch to his 50. Levon Hernandez, I think, has 50 in his rearview mirror already.
Might be 50.
Yeah. Johnny Herrera is going to hit for Jason Hamill. And that's on the outside corner for a strike. Pulled just foul. Well, pretty close.
Fans, make sure you check out the new Camarena loft located in center field. It's available for groups of up to 63. 303 Rockies for more information.
We were out there a couple months ago, did a broadcast out there.
This one was a little
treated us
cooler.
very well. You know what? That's right. That was the night we froze. 2-2 outside, 3-2.
I've had friends visit that Camarena loft, say it's just a wonderful place to watch a game.
Strike 3 on Johnny Herrera. Dropped the slider in on him. And for Derek Lowe, just his second strikeout.
Backdoor slider, not the one that's coming inside to the left-hander, stays on the outside black. That was a strike. Joe West saw it that way.
Cargo 0 for 2 in the ball game, though he scored the Rockies' only run, reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base, Helton brought him home. And this is in the air to left center field, easy play. Two gone, Mark Ellis will come up. Rockies have 3 singles in the ball game. Tulowitzki a bloop single in the first. Hamill had actually 4 singles. Hamill had a bullet single in the second. Helton hit the ball hard up the middle to drive in a run. And Iannetta had a bloop single last inning. I think honestly the Rockies lost a lot of life in that inning where the ball got lost in the sun when Wigginton threw the ball to Helton on a play that would have ended the inning. I know it was only 2-0 at that point, and then the home runs the next inning, the 2-run shot by Freeman, the solo shot to the second deck by Hinsky, and haven't seen a lot of life since then. And the Rockies go quietly in the 5th inning. 5, check it, 6-1 the score as the 5th inning is history. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Been a tough night for the Rockies already. 6th inning, they trail 6-1. Eric Stoltz has taken over for Jason Hamill. 9-1-2 for the Braves as we visit again with Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, guys, we want to show you something first that happened pretty cool. This was before the game started, and it was Mark Ellis autographing the poster that Rocky and Jeannie from the Bay Area brought here to the game today. So I had to track them down here in section 117 and get the story. So, Jeannie, tell me, are you the head of the Mark Ellis fan club?
I'm not quite the head of it, but I'm one of the faithful members.
What's the relationship that you have with him going back for the 10 years he played with Oakland?
He's just the best guy. He's the nicest guy. He's a great player. He's always nice to all the fans, and everybody in the clubhouse loved him, and he's just a great guy.
You found that already here, Rocky, in Denver. What did he say to you when he saw you guys today?
Well, he said, asked, what are you doing here, there? We showed him the sign that said, hey, we came to see you, and we already miss you. So good luck here in Colorado.
Well, thanks a lot for showing up. We like Mark Ellis as well. He's been a nice addition to the team. And there you go, guys. These are the two biggest Mark Ellis fans here in the crowd tonight, anyway.
All right, Mark, thank you. I see that you have loosened the tie and lost it altogether, which, with the temperature close to 100 today, a wise decision. Derek Lowe, like Freddie Freeman, killing the Rockies.
Lowe 5 for his last 13. Numbers for Eric Stoltz. Pitched the other day against the Brewers back on Thursday.
Gave up a home run to Corey Hart. It's our Toyota Talk inning. Major League leaders in batting average at home. Red Sox are hitting .302 in their home yard. Rockies above .330 in July have risen their average to .279. Problem is they're still a .500 club at home. Fouled off. The question we asked tonight, if you could pick one staff top to bottom, who would you pick? Atlanta, no question. That staff allows them to weather or sometimes slow offense. That's Bo in Denver. This person would pick the Phillies. And they do have a great rotation. They've had a lot of injuries in their bullpen late. Brad Lidge, obviously. The former Rocky with the split finger. What am I doing a blank?
So am I. I know exactly.
Been around forever.
Yeah. Put the softball between his fingers.
Yeah, Jose Contreras.
Jose Contreras.
Ryan Madsen's had injuries.
We got a shout out from Huntington Beach, California.
We'll be pretty close to Huntington Beach coming up next week. Schaefer gone. Stoltz strikes him out. 1 out. Phillies, no doubt. Easton and Westminster.
See, I'm with you. It's the Braves if you count the bullpen.
Well, the bullpen counts.
Riverton, Wyoming.
Big couple weeks coming up in Wyoming. Daddy of them all.
Yes, indeed.
Started the roundup red. You see that, Huey?
Yep. And the train will go from here up there. I'll have the pancake breakfast, do all the.
Can you and I one day, can the Cowboy get us on? Like, can we herd, get on horses and be part of that roundup? You think?
No.
Why not?
Because those guys actually have some skill.
Well, I'm sure they do, but we'd just be, additions.
Well, maybe with
extra security
on a stick pony.
Cowboys got to get on that. He can make things happen in Wyoming. That's a base hit to the left side. Prado's 2 for 4. Brian McCann coming up. San Francisco and Yankees have the best overall pitching staff. I don't know about the Yankees.
I don't think, yeah.
I wouldn't put the Yankees in that
there.
class. No. Cleveland Indians. But it won't last after the trade deadline. They may be buyers at the trade deadline, Jay.
Cleveland's still tied with Detroit going into tonight's game.
Indians, one of the better stories so far in baseball in 2011, along with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Clint Hurdle's team 49-44.
Cleveland's winning 3-2 tonight over Minnesota.
Pirates are at home against Cincinnati. That's a base hit for McCann. And Derek Lowe will stop at third. One out. Now the bases are loaded for Freddie Freeman. Freeman tonight, a single, a two-run home run, and it took an extraordinary play by Mark Ellis to prevent him from being 3 for 3. He stole a hit from Freeman in his last at bat. Right now, this is a keep you in the game moment. I mean, the Rockies are already down 5 when the fringes are getting blown out. And Stoltz is facing the cleanup man, Freddie Freeman, who after a very slow start has become one of the leading candidates for National League Rookie of the Year. He's hit over 300 the last couple of months.
Yeah, 1 for 3 in his career off of Stoltz.
On the ground, there is the force on the first, not in time. And Freeman will drive home another run. 3 RBI night for Freeman. He's got 50 on the season. It's 7-1 Atlanta.
Just hit too far to Mark Ellis's left. It took too long just to get to second base. Troy with the effort to make it close, getting Freeman.
So that'll bring up Dan Uggla. Uggla base hit in the second inning. He's 1 for 3. He now has a 10-game hitting streak. His career best is a 12-gamer last August. And Wigginton throws out Uggla. Another run for the Braves in the 6th inning. They've scored in 4 of the 6 innings tonight. 7-1 they lead. Between the Rockies and Atlanta. Atlanta swept the Rockies in a 4-game set before the break. Rockies staring down being 0-5 against Atlanta unless they can get something going here and soon against Derek Lowe.
Derek's done what he has done a lot of his career. 10 ground ball outs today, just 3 fly ball outs and a couple strikeouts.
Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, and Seth Smith in the 6th inning.
fans, spend at least $25 in one transaction at King Soopers, and you can buy up to 4 Rockies tickets for $14 each. That's right. Spend $25 using at King Soopers. Get 4 Rockies tickets for $14 each.
Todd tonight, 1 for 2 in RBI single, and this is toward the hole. Freeman, a nice pickup, good feed, won it. Showing that range that may surprise some people because Freeman's a big man. He's about 6'5" and 235, 240 pounds.
A long reach and a long glove allowed him to get that ball from Todd.
All right, last night Boston and Tampa went 16 innings, finally decided 1-0. It was the longest scoreless game in 7 years since Milwaukee played at the Big A, and they were scoreless for 17 innings. What's the longest scoreless game ever? Doug, you just handed me this note.
21 innings.
Good guess. 24 innings. The Mets and the Astros in '68. The Mets still weren't very good. They were starting to turn it a little bit in '68. The Astros were an expansion team. So neither one could score in an empty gym.
That's pretty hard to do. 24 innings.
Nada.
A lot of offers in the game last night.
Word has it the home plate umpire didn't even have to brush off home plate. Tonight will not be scoreless. 15-7. Of course, 2 different teams playing. Boston and Baltimore. Baltimore's fallen apart. Well, they have won their last 2. They still find themselves 16 games below 500 after a nice start. 3-0 on Troy.
Baltimore just locked up J.J. Hardy for a 3-year deal. And there was a guy that was rumored to be on the trading block.
They have some pieces. Adam Jones, Nick Markakis.
Markakis just had his 1,000th major league hit the other night.
Markakis, a good player. Ben Wieters, a solid catcher.
They lost Vlad Guerrero the other day. He
broke a bone in his hand. Rockies trailing the Giants by 9.5 now. Giants won in extras last night. And an excuse me swing, and Tulo's out at first. 2 gone. That'll bring up Smith again. Take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. It's a line drive double play that Ellis flipped to Helton, and Helton applied the tag. The bases were loaded, nobody out. And it's back in the 2nd inning. Rockies thought they were going to get out of it when Derek Lowe hit a ground ball to 3rd. Wigginton's throw to 1st right on line. The problem was it was right in the sun. Todd Helton had no chance to catch it. 2 runs came around, and the rest of the evening, at least so far, has been most forgettable from Colorado's perspective. Ground ball to 2nd and a fly ball to left for Smith tonight. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass. The number's 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
Seth looking to extend a hit streak. He has hit in 5 straight games.
This is down the line, and it is a fair ball. And Smith has packed his bags, and he's heading for 3rd. Triple for Seth Smith.
Fifth triple on the season for Seth, and he extends that hit streak to 6 games, now 7 for 19 in the process. Was able to keep it fair, and that's one thing you worry about when you pull a ball that much. Is it going to be able to stay fair, or is it going to hook? He kept the hands inside, kept it fair. Nate McLeod played it off the wall, but Seth is going all the way to 3rd.
Seth is safe at 3rd, safe and secure. New York Life. Strike one on Wigginton. Ground ball to third and a ground ball to short this evening. And another ground ball to third. All for the Rockies in the 6th inning. We move to the 7th. It is 7-1 Atlanta. Who's been a very nice addition to the Colorado Rockies so far since coming from Oakland. Now I got to tell a story that was related to me earlier by Jim Armatrat. Jim's our director, and Jim's directed baseball and produced baseball for a long time in the big leagues. He used to work for the Oakland A's, and he worked there when Mark Ellis was playing there. There's Drew Anderson, one of our outstanding photogs, and Drew's got a shirt. It says "Watch and Learn." There's a great story behind it. See, Drew Anderson is talking to our director, Jim Armatrat, when Mark Ellis came up in that first ball game. He said he's going to hit one out here, and Jim Armatrat said, you know, I watched him play. He's a terrific player, but he's a singles doubles hitter. He said, I love him, but he doesn't hit a lot of home runs. And Drew Anderson stuck to his guns. He said, Trout, watch and learn. That's what we call Jim Armatrat. Watch and learn. The next pitch, boom, ball goes out. So Jim Armatrat, being a gracious guy, ordered a shirt that said "Watch and Learn." Well, there's more to the story. Hinske swings through that. So Drew Anderson happens to pass Mark Ellis in the hallway, and he's got his "Watch and Learn" shirt on, and he told the story to Mark why he's wearing this "Watch and Learn" thing. Mark thought it was hysterical and autographed his shirt. And so now every night, hopefully Drew will wash that thing soon. He's been wearing it every day for a week.
It was starting to smell a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's the Mark Ellis autograph. And Drew, I like your positive thinking. Exactly.
And now he thinks he's going to have a magazine next year, preseason prognosticator that he is, Drew Anderson. You got that one right. I know it's going deep.
Just watch and learn, boys.
We should put a microphone on Drew. Center field, and Alex Gonzalez is retired. Nate McLouth with 2 outs. Again, the Rockies have had 1-2-3 inning tonight. That was the first inning. Braves got 2 unearned runs in the second. They got 3 in the third, pair of home runs in that inning. Freeman a 2-run shot, Hinske a solo home run. They had 2 men on in the fourth. They got a run in the fifth. They got a run in the sixth. And now with 2 outs, Stoltz has a chance for a 1-2-3 inning. McLouth 0 for 2, an intentional walk back in the second.
Well, Atlanta had come into this game 26-20 out on the road, which was best in the National League.
They were a couple games under 500 in April. Since that time, they've been well over 500 every month.
30-19 at Turner Field. Now in the 5 games that Atlanta has played the Rockies, they have outscored them 31-9.
You want to talk about steady. That first month of the season, they went 13-15. They went 17-11 in May, 17-9 in June, and they're 9-4 in July.
The big question is, what was Freddie Gonzalez going to be able to do with this club after Bobby Cox retired and had been there for so long and led him to so many championships and divisions, and et cetera, et cetera.
3-2. Well, you and I had this discussion down in Atlanta, and this was the most natural and easy transition for the Braves. The legendary Bobby Cox moves on to more of a consultant role. Freddie Gonzalez tutored under Bobby Cox. He knows all the veteran Braves, and it was such a natural transition for Atlanta. Wigginton can't catch that. And I think it's been as smooth as anybody could have hoped. Most times, you know, when you're replacing a legend, it's not a real envious type of situation for the next guy.
But Freddie had been there back in 2003 through 2006, and then he was manager of the year, Sporting News manager of the year with the Florida Marlins. But he also had somebody in his corner in Chipper Jones.
And he said as much. He said it really's helped out having a guy that has your back, that he could tell all the other guys, hey, this is a good guy.
Listen to him,
trust him.
And so far, so good for the Braves.
Yep. You know, Brian McCann also. Well, the Rockies couldn't get the 1-2-3 inning. McLeod at first. And it's never good when the opposition pitcher's got 4 ABs.
It's
Derek
just
Lowe.
the 7th inning.
Yeah, Derek Lowe, 1 for 3 tonight. That misses. 2-1. Stoltz has become the Rockies' long man. He'll be asked to save the bullpen tonight. Hamill goes 5 innings. He allows 6 runs, 4 earned, 8 hits, walked 3, 1 intentional. He struck out just 1. And Derek Lowe pops it up behind first. Smith has got it. Middle of 7, stretch time at Coors Field. 7-1 Atlanta. Alexis look back. It's not been pretty tonight for the Rockies. Second inning, Derek Lowe hits a ground ball that should have ended the inning. Ty Wigginson's throw got caught up in the sun. Helton couldn't see it. 2 runs come around. Third inning, the Braves went long distance with a man aboard, Freddie Freeman, his 5th home run this year against Colorado. And then a couple of doors down, Eric Hinske hit one to the second deck. More trouble for the Rockies. A base hit would drive in a run. Hinske scores on the Alex Gonzalez hit. Wilkin Ramirez is now in left field for Hinske. Straight up switch.
With the young outfielder out there, a little bit better defense than Hinske.
Chris Iannetta, Dexter Fowler, and then a pinch hitter for Colorado.
Pinch hitter will be more than likely Ryan Spilborghs.
Iannetta 1 for 2 tonight. Loop single to right his last time up. Base hit for Iannetta. Well, thank you to all the fans that are following us on Facebook and Twitter. And we want to hear from you. Tell us what your predictions are for the second half of the baseball season or anything else that's on your mind. You can find us on Facebook at Root Sports RM and on Twitter at Root Sports _RN. Softly hit the second. The Spilborghs will hit.
The first 10,000 fans to the game tomorrow, Tuesday, will receive a Hebrew National $1 hot dog coupon. Remember, the first 10,000 fans. The $1 hot dog coupon is tomorrow, Tuesday, not Thursday, like you saw just a moment ago. Tuesday.
Oh, and 1 on Ryan Spilborghs. He's had more pinch hitting opportunities than any other Rocky. 29, 6 of 29. He has a home run as a pinch hitter, one of 2 pinch hit home runs for the Rockies this year. The other
Charlie
one,
Blackmon on his birthday.
On his birthday, Charlie's first and right now only career home run. Charlie on the disabled list, 60-day DL with the broken foot.
He had to put a couple pins in that foot. Cast, walking boot. That'll be probably a 2-month process. By the time he gets out of that, gets back into baseball shape.
Two and two.
Make sure you don't rush something like that with Charlie either.
Full count on Ryan Spilborghs. Did he hold up? No swing, first and second. Fans, we tell you every night when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, place to go the next day's Taco Bell for your Rockies Taco Special. Well, if you'd like to receive text message alert when the Rockies do score 7, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Carlos Gonzalez is coming up. Roger McDowell's gone out to the mound. Carlos, a walk in the first, reached on a fielder's choice, stole the base, and scored the Rockies' only run in the third, and then hit a high fly ball to left his last time up.
Eric O'Flaherty quickly grabbed a baseball when Roger McDowell went out to the hill to talk to Derek Lowe and started tossing.
I think that's if it gets to Helton and some damage is done. The score 7-1, and the way Lowe has pitched, he's earned the right to face Gonzalez here, especially with the 6-run cushion.
Well, O'Flaherty is typically their 7th inning guy to get to a Johnny Venters in the 8th, to get to a Craig Kimbrell in the 9th when they have the lead, but that's just typically when it's just a 1 to 3 run lead.
And Cargo breaks his bat, but he's going to drop, and Fowler will store it. You know, you mentioned in his last at bat that he breaks a lot of bats, which is true, and he gets a lot of hits on broken bats. Hitting instructors will tell you from time to time that really good hitters will get jammed because they let the ball get deep.
You don't jump out towards the pitcher. You let it come to you, keeping your hands back. They're trying to work the ball into Carlos Gonzalez right off that label. And that's why his bat splintered on that ball, but because the path was where it should be, it dropped in for a base hit in right center field.
52 RBIs now for Gonzalez. Mark Ellis at the plate. Where's my man Drew? Where's his t-shirt? Mark Ellis drops a 3-run home run here at 7-5. What I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, and then you would see.
You know, let's watch and learn, Huey.
I like the thought.
One ball, one strike. Tell you what, he hits a home run here. It's going to start selling like hotcakes, right?
Be down in the gift shop.
Ward drops a base hit into right. Spilbrooks took a look back. And with the Rockies trailing by 5 runs, he stopped at third base. Richie Dower held him up with Helton coming up, and Freddie Gonzalez is going to go get Derek Lowe. Derek doesn't look happy about it, but it's a predictable move, especially when you have the number of outstanding lefties in the bullpen that Gonzalez has.
Well, it's nice to see Mark Ellis not try to pull the pitch, just punch it to right. It was hit off the end. He hit it over there where it was pitched, and if he would have pulled it, it would have been a ground ball double play.
So the Rockies have them loaded here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing by 5. Helton coming up. hopefully Toddy will stay hot. He's up right now with the bases loaded against the tough lefty Eric O'Flaherty. First time tonight. The crowd has something to get excited about. Here's the first pitch to Helton, and he drives it to center field and deep. It'll get a run home. Here comes Spilborghs, moving second and third is Gonzalez. So Helton with his second RBI of the night on the sac fly. It's 7-3. Helton's got 48 ribbies.
Just missed hitting that ball over the head of Jordan Schaefer out in center field. Caught it off the end a little bit more than he wanted to.
And here's Tulowitzki. First and third. Troy's 1 for 3. Tulowitzki is hitting .305 against lefties this year. Leading all major league shortstops with 17 home runs and 60 driven in. On the inside corner. So yesterday Giambi was 2 for 3 and a couple of walks. He drove in a run. Helton's got 2 RBIs tonight. Helton drove in 3 on Saturday night. He drove in 2 on Friday night.
A lot of production out of that first base slot.
And this is hit to shallow center field. It'll drop. And the Rockies have another run. It is 7-4. Ellis goes first to third, and that'll bring up Seth Smith.
These are the ones that everybody likes to talk about, the 2-run home run or the 3 ones, but these ones you just keep pecking away, and these are aggravating to the opposing team. You saw Carlos Gonzalez blue pit to right field. Mark Ellis not trying to pull the ball. He hits it the other way. Troy staying centered, not with a big swing and miss, but drops it in front of Jordan Schaefer out in center field. And you keep the train running.
Ball 1 on Smith. Rockies with 3 runs on 5 hits in the inning. They have 9 hits tonight, all singles. Two and 0. And it's popped up to left center field. Wynn's taking this big time, and Schaefer runs it down almost over in left field by the time he caught it. Rockies get 3 in the inning. They tightened it up. Brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. The Braves had a 7-1 lead. The Rockies just rallied for 3 in the bottom half of the 7th with 5 hits. Hamill gave up 6 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. Freeman's had a big day again against the Rockies. Couple hits, 3 RBIs. Rex Brothers on for the 18th time. Here in the 8th, they'll face Schaefer, Prado, and McCann, top of the Braves order. Trying to get the Rockies back to the dugout quickly to build on what they just did.
So to keep his consecutive scoreless streak, he's 11 appearances now for Rex Brothers. He's going to get 2 out of the 3 guys going to be left-handed. Schaefer, then Brian McCann after Prado. You can purchase a 20-game mini plan and select the games you want. These packages offer great savings. Call 303-ROCKIES or go online to ColoradoRockies.com for more information.
One and 2 count on Jordan Schaefer. You know, Braves are known for their pitching this year, but they're starting to score runs. Yesterday, Huey, 9 runs on 7 hits. Tonight, they have 7 runs on 11 hits. They scored 5 against Washington. Or excuse me, they lost 5-2 the other day, but the previous game, they scored 11. Game before the All-Star break, they scored 5.
2 guys, Freddie Freeman and Dan Uggla. Those guys, we talked about Uggla with the 9-game hitting streak. Freddie Freeman now 50 RBIs. And
well, he starts getting on track, Uggla. And then you get Chipper back.
yes.
Freeman, as you mentioned, has come on. If you get Hayward going, now you're talking about pretty deep lineup.
Yeah,
Prado's back.
Prado's back.
96-mile-an-hour blow-away fastball from Rex Brothers. Schaefer is the first out in the 8th.
And this was overmatched. Brothers just threw this by away from Schaefer, even though he's choking up on the bat to try to get a little bit more control. Was late on it because he worked underneath the baseball.
Ball 1 on Martin Prado. Two and 0. Prado, a 27-year-old from Maracay in Venezuela. Tutored by Edgar Renteria when he first got to the big leagues.
Pretty good, nice guy to have in your corner to help you along. Martin now just a little over 3.5 years at the big leagues. But that's what you always have somebody to help you out when you first come to the big leagues. Take you under their wing.
Well, you hope to. 3-1. Prado last year, as Jeff mentioned earlier, he had 307 the last 2 years. 15 home runs, 66 driven in last year. He had 40 doubles. The year before, he had 38 doubles. Fouled off, out of play. He was an all-star last year.
He's so valuable because he can play so many different positions. You see him at third, you see him at second, watch him out in left field. You also play some shortstop if Gonzalez needs a day off. Sure if that got the shoe or that shin guard that he wears. Either way, it hurts. He's lucky that he turned that foot over because it got more of the underneath side than right on top of the instep.
And Brothers strikes out Prado. 2 gone. Oh, you know what? We got to throw Mike Fox under the bus here. He put the music on. He thought there were 3 outs. Fox, here we're going to play 3 tonight.
Yeah. He's coming back from vacation.
You know, sometimes the mind's still on a lake in northern Maine. Want to know on Brian McCann. Couple hits tonight for McCann.
McCann hitting 287 off left-handers on the year.
He can just hit.
5 home runs.
Three balls, no strikes. McCann's last 20 games is at .342. He's firing 3-0. Why not?
Why not?
You're up 342 and you're up 3.
And you're a 6-time All-Star. You let him do things like that.
Some players, I mean, big-time sluggers, don't like to hit 3-0.
We've seen it work out a couple times for the Rockies this year. Carlos Gonzalez, bases loaded, double into the right center field gap. It's a game, 6 RBIs in the game before he got hurt.
Deep center field, it'll stay in the ballpark. Fowler waiting. And Brothers has a 1-2-3 8th inning, a couple of strikeouts as well. All right, Mike, we go to break. That's 3 outs. 7-4 Atlanta. Look at our Excel Energy high efficiency inning. It just happened. Rex Brothers. Top of the 8th inning. Brothers would get the punch out of Jordan Schaefer. He'd get Martin Prado. And then have to fall behind Brian McCann. He got him to hit a fly ball to center field. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, and Mark Stout from the ballpark tonight. 7-4. Rockies got 3 last half inning, and now they'll try to rally against the all-star Johnny Venters. Ty Wigginton.
52 appearances for Venters, now 53, leads the major leagues. Also has 19 holds, which is tied for 3rd in all of baseball. Hard throwing left-hander, and what makes him difficult is he throws hard, 94 to 96, but it has a lot of movement, like a sinking fastball. No, he did even 97, but turned it over.
Yeah, you can see that downward movement you were explaining.
Well, and that's why he was elected to the All-Star game.
Here's the 1-1 and a ground ball right side. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
Guys, Jason Giambi's upper deck shot aside from yesterday, I was thinking about Rockies home runs. The club has only hit 9 this month, which is tied for 10th in the NL. The Braves have added 2 tonight. They came in at 16, tied for 2nd. They now have 18, but even a guy at the plate like Iannetta, he hasn't homered in his last 43 at-bats. That goes back to the end of June. Seth Smith, mid-June. Ty Wigginton, who just hit the end of June. And some of these guys just haven't had the long ball, and that's something the Rockies have been missing offensively.
All right, Mark, here's Chris Iannetta. That shot we showed you a moment ago, that's where approximately Jason Giambi hit a baseball yesterday. That's way up there.
You're not thinking when you go to the ballpark sitting up there that you're going to get a home run ball.
Two outs. Here's Jason yesterday. Swing hard, good things may happen.
Good thing did happen there with that moonshot.
455 feet of travel time. Dexter Fowler. One ball, one strike. Fowler tonight. Strikeout, a comebacker, and he reached on a fielder's choice and scored last inning. Dex trying to find his way offensively. He had a 40-minute meeting yesterday before the Rockies took batting practice with Jim Tracy and Carney Lansford, the Rockies hitting instructor.
I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page where you're hitting in the lineup. Things that you need to do to stay in the lineup to move back into that leadoff spot. All the stuff that Dexter knows, but you have to hear it from the manager to make sure that there's nothing lost in the translation.
Ball 4. The Rockies will go to their bench again, and they'll go to the backup catcher. Jim Tracy doesn't do this frequently, but it's his last right-handed bat. So he'll go with Eliezer Alfonso.
Well, your only other 2 options were Jason Giambi and Ian Stewart. Ian did have a bat a moment ago, but as tough as Johnny Venters is on anybody, but especially left-handers, go ahead and send the right-handed bat up there, and Alfonso with just 1 out to go, and you just hope that nothing happens with your backup catcher. I mean, with your starting catcher, excuse me.
Oh, Ron Renicky with the Brewers did it a couple times.
Right.
In the series.
Well, you know
Middle
what?
of the game, in fact.
Sometimes you have to do it. It's your only option.
somehow Alfonso gets on. We'll have Gonzalez hitting, representing the tying run. Man, do you feel that breeze that just came through the booth? How nice did that feel? Yeah. It's still warm out tonight. We ever get a temperature at game time, Doug? 35,103 in the house to watch the Rockies and Braves. First pitch, 92 degrees tonight. Did you find in the summer, especially when you were in the East, where with the humidity in the Midwest, you used a lot more pine tar, Jeff?
Yeah, to make sure that ball or bat didn't slip out of your hand.
Eighth inning is complete. The Rockies trail at 7-4 as we go to the ninth. Ninth inning, as always, the Toyota postgame show will follow our broadcast here. Tom Helmer will tell you a little bit more about what they're planning tonight.
Well, Drew, Freddy versus Jason was the 8th part of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It was repeated tonight as Freddie Freeman made it a pretty rough night on Jason Hamill, including a 2-run homer. We'll break down both of their performances. Also, low pressure. Derek Lowe comes out tonight, does what he needs to do to keep things in check for the Atlanta Braves. We'll talk about him, and as always, we'll get you in the clubhouse and hear from Jim Tracy. Drew?
I like it. Low pressure, Tom. You got low,
and the Freddy versus Jason thing just fell in our lap. If you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan and seen all 20 parts of that movie, it's just it's a giveaway.
Yeah, well, it's been a nightmare on Blake Street tonight. Rafael Betancourt is aboard for the 42nd time. He'll throw the top of the 9th inning. The aforementioned Freddie Freeman will be his first subject. Take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Freddie Freeman involved again. We got a couple of these when the Rockies were down in Atlanta. Freeman, that big load, fired the hands, hit it over the center field fence. 5th home run against the Rockies this year. That was a 2-run shot. He had an RBI ground out later on. 3 ribbies tonight for Freeman. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Rafael's coming into tonight's ball game after throwing in yesterday's game against Milwaukee. 1 inning, 1 strikeout. There's 15 pitches. Batting averages against Rafael are higher this year than they have been in the past. Lefties hitting 257, right-handers hitting 288.
That's the one that's really surprising, because righties most of the time didn't have a chance against them last year.
Oh, yeah, in his career, right-handers that have hit 215 off of Rafael in over 1,100 at bats.
So you're talking about a more than 70-point differential.
Yes.
And Betancourt's been doing this well for a long time. So at least the first half of this year.
It just shows you they're not machines.
On the ground, Helton slides over and it squeaks underneath him. Might be a hit.
Well, as far as Todd had to go for that baseball.
Should be a hit.
He got the break on it. Tried to slide. Went off the edge of his glove. And as a second baseman, you might be sitting there, why didn't the second baseman call him off? Well, you don't know with Todd, because he's such a good fielder, that you're not going to call him off because he's right there.
Instincts are going to take you there. Even if he says, hey, I got it, you're not going to be able to redirect in that time and
well,
be
and the
involved.
the other thing too, Mark Ellis has only been here a couple weeks, so there's still that learning process about how far Todd can go to his right.
You see that play on occasion, the 4-1.
We saw it this past week with Ricky Weeks.
Well, they've given Helton an error.
So you're saying he's going to go all that way, slide?
Let's look at that again, if we get a moment.
So when he slides, he's going to have to get up on his knee and spin and throw and hit Betancourt on the move.
Trying to find the right angle. Well, if that stance is an error, it's a Todd had the tough error earlier in the game, not his fault. Ball's in the sun, and now they change it. They just moved it back to a hit, which is the right call. And watch where Freeman is. Helton dives. He's got to come up and hit a moving target. Has he made that play a lot? Yeah, but you know, you're still talking about once you go to the dirt.
Right.
Typically, it's no longer a situation where it's going to be an right.
Yeah.
It's not. That's a great way of describing it, Huey.
And that's the way it reads in the rule book in the official scorer's eyes.
You leave your feet. It's no longer routine. 12 hits now for the Braves tonight. That would have been the first 2-error game for Helton in 8 years.
Uggla 1 for 5 in his career off of Betancourt.
Freeman started to go and for some reason shut it down, because had he went, he would have stolen the base standing up.
Well, especially with the 81-mile-an-hour slider, Freddie does have 2 stolen bases, been caught 3 times. He started to go before Rafael went to the plate. That's why he shut it down.
And Betancourt strikes out Uggla. And this will be Wilkin Ramirez for the first time. Ramirez came in for Hinsky a couple innings ago defensively.
And now you're wondering if Freddie Gonzalez is maybe questioning that with the 7-1 lead. Would you put a guy in for defense, but would you rather have his bat?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I also think if you're Freddie Gonzalez and you take a 3-run lead and hand it to Craig Kimbrell, whether it be Coors Field or Turner Field, you ought to win that baseball game.
Right, but what I'm saying, at the time when he took him out, it was 7-1.
Yeah.
No doubt if it's 7-3 or
right.
7-4, you put somebody else in for defense.
Braves are on pace to win 95 games.
That's why we've talked about it now for a couple weeks. That the wild card winner more than likely is going to come out of the National League East. Whether it's the Phillies or the Braves, one of those two teams is going to win the division. The other one's going to be the wild card. And kind of a mess in the National League Central.
Well, to your point, Atlanta's won 17 of 23. They went from a three-way tie in the wild card to a 5-game lead. They were tied with St. Louis and Arizona a few weeks ago. And now they're up 5 games. Now, a lot can change, but with this pitching staff that we have spent part of the evening discussing and heaping praise upon, you can't imagine them going on a large tailspin. Going into a large tailspin. They have the lowest bullpen ERA in the National League at 2.84, just ahead of San Diego. The Giants are in third. You know, and after Arizona on this upcoming road trip for the Rockies, they're going to be involved in a bunch of those low-scoring games. They're going to be at Dodger Stadium. They're going to be at Petco.
Dodger Stadium. It'd be interesting to see what happens there, because that's right around the trade deadline. That'll be the 25th, 26th, 27th. See if they do anything with the Dodgers roster.
Remains a 2-strike count on Ramirez.
Looking a little bit further out, even after that road trip, you come home and play the Phillies.
Strikeout for Rafael Betancourt. 2 down, and that'll bring up Alex Gonzalez.
92-mile-an-hour fastball from Betancourt. Up and away at the top of the zone to get Ramirez. That's a straight 4-seam fastball. The rotation, you see the spin going backwards.
Strike on Gonzalez. Two-strike count on Gonzalez. Did you miss any of tonight's game? If so, check out Double Play tomorrow at 5:30, right before the start of the Rockies and Braves Game 2. All the highlights, best moments in just 30 minutes, only on Root Sports. Top of 9, 7 for Atlanta. Here's the 0-2 to Alex Gonzalez. Swung on and missed, and Gonzalez goes down. Betancourt strikes out the side after the infield hit by Freddie Freeman. Cargo will lead it off. Rockies need to rally. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Bottom of the ninth inning in Lodo. Rockies trailing the Braves 7-4 at Coors Field. And the rally hats are out. Unfortunately, the Rockies had to put the rally caps on too frequently the last couple of days. 2 one-run losses Saturday and Sunday. And tonight they're going to need a significant rally against one of the emerging elite closers in baseball, rookie Craig Kimbrell.
28 saves before the break for Kimbrell. The most saves by a Major League rookie before the All-Star break, breaking Jonathan Papelbon's record that was held back in 2006 with 26 saves.
Top of the order for the Rockies. Gonzalez is 1 for 3, an RBI, also a walk. Fargo tried to drag his way on. It's one of the few times where he's tried to drag a bunt that he didn't make contact.
Yeah,
like everything else he does, he's really good at drag bunting.
Because he's a good athlete. He has that hand-eye coordination where he can do that, just drop it down if he wants or pull it with him to first. Kimbrell, a unique arm angle where the way he sets up in the kind of a low slinger 3/4, 72 strikeouts in 47 innings, which is what he's really carried over from the minor leagues, though.
And last year when he came up, 40 punch outs in 20 innings.
Minor leagues in 151 innings, 242 strikeouts.
Now some teams missed the boat on this guy. 3rd round pick of the Braves. One and 2 on Cargo. And he got him with a slider. He went to Wallace State Community College, which is a program that's turned out some players. 1 out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Mark Ellis coming up.
This is what makes Kimbrell so difficult to pick up the ball from. He gets that sign. Don't see many players do that, but then he steps and then steps again and throws across his body. So a hitter's thinking, well, okay, where's that arm? Where's it coming from? And you can adjust to it if it's 90, 91, but not when it's 95 to 97. He just hides the baseball for so long.
Four runs on 9 singles tonight for the Rockies. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Braves. They have a couple of home runs. Kimbrell freezes Ellis. 2 outs.
Well, he'd thrown a slider the pitch before, locked up Ellis, and then he freezes him again for the strikeout on the outside corner. It's just straight 4-seam fastball. Ryan McCann made it look easy back there, just set his glove up, he hit the target.
Elton takes a strike. Todd has kept his high standards alive and well tonight. He had an RBI hit earlier. He's driven in 2. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going. Here's the 0-1 to Todd. You think day in and day out It's probably not even close who's given the Rockies their best at bats this year. Todd Helton.
From opening day to now. No doubt about it.
3-1. Look at yesterday also. It's the two guys whose combined age is closing in on 88. Helton and Giambi.
A lot of experience in those years.
Todd draws a walk. That'll bring up Tulowitzki with 2 outs. Troy, a couple of hits tonight, a couple of Texas leaguers. One produced a run, so it's 2 for 4.
Kimbrel's sitting at 98 tonight with that fastball.
Looks like he's reading a putt so low. Looking in at the sign. Slider missed.
When Troy might have caught a break. Yeah, that was in the strike zone. Big break.
Like it was right. According to the Ford strike zone, it was almost right down the middle.
And that's where it was too. Should have been hit. It could have been hit hard.
Gas at 97. It's 1-2.
Brian McCann a moment ago had called for the slider when he was ahead in the count 0-1. Kimbrel shook it off. We'll go back to that one.
'98 just missed. 2-2.
McCann called for the slider. And then he thought about it for a second, called timeout. Kimbrel did not see it, so he started his motion home.
Kimbrel strikes out the side, and the Braves have won all 5 ball games against the Rockies this year. They win tonight 7-4. Derek Lowe beats Jason Hamill. Kimbrel with his 29th save. Lowe is 6-7. Hamill falls to 5-9. The Rockies are now 45-51, matching a season low 6 games beneath 500. The Braves improved to 18 above 500. They're 57-39. Tonight's Delivery of the Game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Freddie Freeman's killed the Rockies this year. The 21-year-old Californian with a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs, actually 3 RBIs tonight, 2 on 1 swing as he hit this one out to center field, his 5th home run against the Rockies this year. Jimmy John's Delivery of the Game brought to you tonight by Freddie Freeman. Atlanta wins it. 7 runs on 12 hits. The Rockies 4-9-1. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is coming up next from center field here at Coors Field.